Hello, dear friends, and welcome to Storytelling. Are you the kind of person who sometimes can't resist copying what others do, even if you're not quite sure how to do it yourself? Or want to meddle in other people's business? Well, today's tale from the ancient Panchatantra will show us why it's so important to understand a task before we jump right in. The story of the monkey and the log. Once upon a time, in a lush, green forest near a busy village, lived a troop of playful monkeys. One bright morning, a group of hardworking woodcutters arrived in the forest. They were busy chopping down a huge, towering tree to gather wood for their village. The woodcutters used mighty tools, a large iron wedge and a heavy hammer, to split the trunk of the tree. With each firm strike of the hammer, the wedge was driven deeper into the wood, keeping the freshly split log apart. As the men worked, one clever monkey peered from behind a bush. His eyes widened with wonder as he watched the unusual tools and the powerful swings of the hammer. Later that day, after the woodcutters had finished their work and trotted off for their midday meal in the village, the monkeys gathered around the fallen log and the stubborn iron wedge still lodged in it. The clever monkey, now puffed up with pride and excitement, thought to himself,
"I know exactly what to do. I'll imitate the men and pull out this wedge with all my strength."
Eager to impress his friends, he scampered forward and grasped the wedge tightly. The other monkeys clapped and chattered in encouragement, their eyes sparkling with anticipation. With a burst of confidence, our daring monkey began to tug and pull with all his might. He strained every muscle, convinced that his efforts would be as successful as those of the human woodcutters. As he pulled, the gap in the log began to close rapidly. In a sudden, heart-stopping moment, the log snapped back into place, and the poor monkey's legs were caught fast in the unforgiving gap. Despite all his strength and all the cheers of his friends, the monkey could not free himself and got killed. In that tragic moment, his overconfidence and hasty imitation led to a dire accident. And what do you learn from it? Think it hard if you want and pause the story for a moment. And the moral of the story is, understand before you act. Just as the monkey imitated the woodcutters without truly knowing what he was doing, we too must learn and understand tasks before trying them ourselves. Beware of overconfidence. Being too sure of ourselves, especially without proper knowledge, can lead to dangerous mistakes. Think first, act later. Sometimes, watching and learning carefully is far better than jumping in head first. So, my dear young friends, remember, before trying to copy someone else, make sure you understand how and why they do it. Learning from others is wonderful, but only when we first take the time to learn properly ourselves. Let's be wise and cautious, and always think before we act. Thank you for listening so enthusiastically to this tale from the Panchatantra. May its wisdom guide you in every adventure you undertake. Happy exploring, and until next time, keep learning and growing.